Week 3 in the books. And what a week it was. Gilliam, last remaining undefeated team. Steele takes me down. Rory, last remaining winless team. A lot of parity in the league. Great time to be in the league. We're going to get in all the matchups. We're going to hear from the winners. We're going to hear from the losers. We're going to hear from everyone. We're going to hear from all the important people in the league. As always, thanks for keeping the chat fun during the weekends. I'm surprised we haven't had a trade yet, honestly. Just kidding. We actually did have a trade last week, which I will talk about on this video. So we did have a trade. First one of the year was with Steele and Rory, which happened after I made the video. So I'll get into it a little bit here. But yes. Gilliam, you were the winner. What do you got to say to this week, huh?
What's up, boys? Feels good to be on top of week 3, on top of the standings. Appreciate the recognition. Rocking the Gilliam for today. The Gilluminati on top. You know, we were projected number 1 at the beginning of the week, top scorer. Ended up following through. Monday Night Football had a lot riding on it. I watched Kincaid and James Cook score a tutty. Walked away, went to bed. 168 total. Pretty good. Got Dumpster Fire up next, who has the most points total. So looking for another strong week. I appreciate you guys. It's been a good start to the league.
Gilliam, I will say 163 points is a lot. Undefeated at 3-0. Looking like the team to beat. Jamar Chase, 29. Kyron, 31. Zach Moss, 20. We're going to get in all the matchups more later. But just want to say, that was a very cool sweater. It's very nice. Always great to hear from you. So we heard from Gilliam, winner of the week. What about the other side of the matchup, huh? Ben. Someone who's at times been familiar with being the lowest scorer in this league, unfortunately. But, Ben, what happened, man? What do you got to say?
What's up, fellas? Week 3 is in the books. It's your boy Benny D back with another L, this time low score of the week. I put up 102 points. Do I care? Not really. You know why? Because the Panthers are back, baby. Hanging 36 points on the Las Vegas Raiders. Shout out the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, resurrecting the entire Panthers organization. Am I thinking playoffs? Maybe. Am I delusional? Absolutely. Do I care? Absolutely fucking not. CJ Stroud looked like he'd never played football before in his life. Devontae Adams looks absolutely miserable with Gardner Minshew throwing to him in Las Vegas. Had to start Zach Ertz due to a Kittle injury. He put up 9 for me, so not too bad. Also, shout out the Commies fans in the chat. You got your guy in Jaden Daniels. He looked incredible. Just fun seeing him run around the field, throw darts, 91% completion percentage. So that's incredible. Congrats. You got your guy. Chuba Hubbard was my leading scorer, if that gives you any indication of how my week went. Put up 28 for me. And then another main takeaway from my week. Started the Buccaneers defense thinking the Denver offense was absolute dog shit. Bo Nix, while he didn't throw a touchdown, didn't throw an interception, they put up 26. The Buccaneers defense did nothing special, and they only got me a point. So just a tough week overall. Clean slate. Try to get back to 2-2 next week. Let's go. Love you, boys.
Benny D, our boy, thank you so much for those kind words and the insight into what went wrong last week. I will say, at least you broke 100, right? Could have been worse. Chase probably did not deserve to get the win, but he did. Again, we're going to get into it. I'm going to go one by one with the normal predictions. I went 3-2 last week, so first time above 500 brings me to 7-8 on the year. We're steadily climbing. Derek, Sam, Chris, I got you guys right as the winners. Ben and me, I picked myself. Again, I'm going to get into it, but disappointing effort. Always hate to lose to SJ. I feel like I'm always losing to SJ. Oh, man. But first matchup we'll get into, Derek, looking like a wagon, looking like a really solid team. 2-1, he's in 3rd place, takes on Ford, 1-2. In 6th place, Ford is actually the highest scorer in the league this year. He's sitting at 1-2, he's in 6th place. I'll say it again. Ford, 1-2, highest scorer in the league, 6th place. Okay, let's go over Ford, the loser. He lost first, so we're going to go over him. Really carried by Josh Allen and Breece Hall. Devin Singletary looked like a great pickup. Pickens was solid. Godwin was good. Ayuk has been meh. Freiermuth meh. Jalen Waddle, he's the one that's been hurt the most by Tua's injury, for sure. Only 6 points. Nothing he could have done. I think Madison had 13 on his bench, but it's not really like he left some points on the board that he could have grabbed. Derek, like I said, looking like a wagon. Kyler disappointed a little bit, only 15 points, but Saquon with 33. Josh Jacobs really disappointing with 5. Garrett Wilson, 14. DK, 20. Mark Andrews, 0 burger. Derek is on the market for a tight end, and I've got 2 of them. Hit me up, Derek. So, Neighbors and Amari combined for 50-plus points. Like, you're going to win games with your flex combined for 50-plus points. Chiefs D with 5, Greg the Leg with 4.8. All in all, very solid performance from Derek. I know. He was the second highest scorer after Gilliam this week. Derek, after winner of the week, second highest scorer, seeming like a team to beat. Congratulations, Derek Ford. I'll say it one more time. 1-2, highest scorer, 6th place. Okay. All right, this is our toilet bowl matchup. Chase and Ben. Chase won with 117. He was not in the top half of scoring this week. He was carried by Derrick Henry with 30 points. Ramondre had 0.3. Not great. Diggs with 19. B-Rob got in the end zone with 10. Everyone else was, pretty meh. His pass catchers especially, Tyreek with 7. Mike Evans with 3. Kelsey with only 7. Kelsey's got to be a landmine, especially, he had Goddard on the bench. I don't think Chase will be playing Kelsey over Goddard going forward, especially if A.J. Brown and Devontae are out this week. But I'm playing him this week, so Chase, I think you should keep Kelsey, and that's a really good idea, and you should keep doing that. Chase, 117 points, gets the win on Ben. Ben, we already heard from him. The only good player he had was Chuba. And then he had Bijan with 13, Quentin Johnson with 12. No one else broke 10, and that includes his quarterback, C.J. Stroud. So he will look to bounce back next week. He had left a lot of points on his bench. Joe Burrow with 25, Deontay with 26, Jets defense was 16. So, Bucks defense 1, Jets defense 16, Kittle being hurt. Not a great week for Ben, but, you live and you learn. Next, we're on to the next one. Sam gets his first win of the season. Bottom-ish scoring. I think he was bottom 5 in scoring, but he got lucky with the matchup going against Rory, Najee Nation, who did make a trade, which, again, I'll get into. But 124 to 103. Sam in 8th place, Rory in 10th place now. Dak was the leading scorer, led the way for Sam with 29 points. CD disappointed a lot. He kind of checked out there at the end. Tony Pollard with only 6, Jerome Ford with 10. Sharbs, who is going to be fading to the back now that Kenneth Walker is likely back. Drake London was his 3rd-round pick, I believe, and has already found his way to the bench in favor of Jameson Williams, who only had 1.2 points. It didn't matter because Sam won by 21, but I'm sure he's going to be banging his head against the wall trying to figure out who he wants to start going forward. Seahawks defense with 12, Brandon Aubrey with 12.6. Thielen was a good spot in his flex, but is on the IR, so I'm sure Sam will be dropping him if he hasn't already. I did offer Sam Juwan Jennings for Brandon Aubrey straight up, and he said no. Can't help but respect that. I would really like him, but don't think Sam's going to give him up. Rory, 0-3. Mahomes disappointing from a fantasy perspective, only 16 points, obviously. And then his 2 new additions, J.K. Dobbins and Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison was good. J.K. Dobbins was meh. I mean, Pittsburgh defense is really good. They just shut him down in the second half. Dobbins finished with 8 points. The biggest disappointment with James Conner with 3. Najee with 13. Darnell Mooney with 14. Jaylen Warren is injured, so Najee will actually be getting some more volume, which is, good for Rory if he's going to keep starting Najee. But I think if you have Najee on your team, you're not a very good team. And I've said that, and I will continue to say it. Rory 0-3. Last place, Sam 1-2. Rory better get in the win column when you start practicing his jumper. All right, Gilliam, 163.84 to 112.36. He's the lone undefeated team, 3-0. Caleb drops to 1-2 in 7th place. He had 3 players score less than 10 in Jalen Hurts, Zay Flowers, and his defense. Everyone else was above 10. He had Jamar with 29, Kyron with 31, and James Cook with 18, and Zach Moss with 20, as I already said. So really, really, really solid performance. A lot of points scored. Eckler looked good and then got hurt. He's out for this week. He made the smart decision of benching the Cowboys defense. That was a 12-point thing. The Browns got 6. Cowboys got -6. Yeah, very solid all around. I got no feedback on Gilliam. He's looking like the team to beat. Him and Derek are definitely the top 2 teams right now. Caleb, Jaden Daniels looking like a guy. Shout out Commies fans. He is a beast. That's awesome. That was a great fantasy performance from him. Obviously, not enough to get the win for Caleb. He basically had his, 3 guys really carry the load. He had the Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin stack, so I'm sure he was freaking out for the future. This matchup was over before that game, but he was freaking out on that bomb. That was an awesome game. Rashid Shaheed was 0, DeMarcus Robinson with 4, Kyle Pitts with 7, A came with 8. Yeah, man, I mean, I said it last week, but Terry was Caleb's first receiver taken. It's tough, if you're going to start Rashid Shaheed and DeMarcus Robinson. I don't think you'll be winning that many games. Yeah, Cortland Sutton on the bench with 13, Christian Watson with 8. There wasn't anything he could have done, but, take some solace in that, Caleb. But yeah, your receiver's a little shaky. We'll get into my matchup now. Jared versus Jared. Jared squared. I lose my first game. I drop to 2-1. I'm in second place. Steele moves up to 2-1. Fifth place. Again, done by the point differential. I lost because of Anthony Richardson and Jake Elliott. Anthony Richardson with 5 points. Jake Elliott with 0. And I almost picked up Geno right before, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to ride out with Anthony Richardson. I said to you all before the year, I'm addicted to dual threat quarterbacks. I want off the train. If anyone wants Anthony Richardson, take him from me. I don't want him anymore. I'd rather just have someone get me 16 points each week than have to worry about getting 5 or 30. I'm done with it. I want off. Goodbye. Kamara with 15. He didn't practice today, which concerns me a lot because I really need him because he's awesome. David Montgomery, 21. Amon-Ra, 20. DJ Moore, 15. Brock Bowers, disappointed a little bit. If I would have played Ferguson over Bowers, that would have been enough for me to get the win. I wasn't going to do that, but, it still sucks. Etienne, I needed like 16 from him. He got me 12. Gave me hope at the end for some reason when he went back in the game, ripped off a 25-yarder, and then just didn't play for the rest of the drive. That sucked. He also just stopped running when he was open in the end zone. That also sucked. And Rashee Rice was my best player with 29 points. Chargers defense disappointed a little bit, especially with Green Bay sitting on the waivers getting 25. And Jake Elliott, you're cut, buddy. Goodbye. Jared Steele. I mean, it was a good matchup. Everyone was super solid from him. He was, his defense and kicker both also didn't do too well, but they had 4 more points than mine, and that was the difference in the week, funny enough. Javonte looks horrible. Tank Dell was fine. Laporta with only 5. His new addition, JJ and Olave, both had 20. Jordan Mason only 10. Aaron Jones and Lamar both 25. So, Steele had a solid week. He scored 134. I think he was third. Yeah, he was third highest in scoring this week. So, I think he was third. I was 4th highest. It is what it is. I was 5th highest. I was 0.4 behind Ford. Steele gets a good win. Tough loss for me. We're going to get back in the lab. We're going to learn from it. We're going to grow from it because we're in a growth mindset. We're just trying to be better than we were last week. As I said, that's last week. Also, we had the trade. Steele received Justin Jefferson, who everyone knows is his favorite player. Gave up Marvin Harrison Jr. and J.K. Dobbins. I think it makes sense for both teams. Marvin Harris Jr., obviously a little bit of downgrade than Justin Jefferson, but Rory gets some very much needed running back depth with J.K. Dobbins, who's been very solid. I get why both people made the trade. I think it was a very balanced trade. And that's what I'll say. I think everyone gets a little concerned when we get a notification that Jared Steele's made a trade, but that's part of what makes this league beautiful, guys. Everyone gets to trade. Everyone gets to have fun. Let's get into the matchups for this week, shall we? Let me get my Excel sheet up so I can track everything. We're going to start off with Derek and Sam, both projected for above 130. Derek 135, Sam 131. Derek sitting at 2-1, third place. Sam 1-2, 8th place. Let's get into it, shall we? Derek's team looks awesome, as I've said. He just really needs a tight end. Someone actually dropped Mark Andrews in another league I'm in, but that's a league I'm managing with Lexi, or one of the girls dropped it, which, again, I get it. It's Zero Burger, Mark Andrews, whatever, but I wouldn't be starting Mark Andrews if I had him, just because I'm scared. I feel like, and Derek's also rostering 3 tight ends, which is just crazy. Derek, and you have someone in your IR. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to get into it. It is what it is. If you look at the team trend, Derek has outscored Sam every week so far this year, which makes sense. I think Derek's team is just better than Sam's team. Sorry if that hurts your feelings, Sam. He has put Drake London back in the starting lineup. Derek's team is really good. I don't love Josh Jacobs. Amari's very hit or miss. Malik Neighbors is obviously incredible. DK's been very solid. I've been proven wrong on that front. And then Saquon's the RB1 in fantasy. Chiefs defense, he has him right now. I'm assuming he has that in, assuming that Herbert's not going to play, but I'm guessing Herbert's going to play. I'm going to see what Derek wants to do with it. Sam, on the other hand, he's got a bunch of players playing in the Thursday night game, obviously, because it's Dallas versus the Giants. He'll probably start off on a hot foot because the Giants' defense is not very good. Trey McBride in concussion protocol this week. I don't know if Sam has a backup tight end. He does not have a backup tight end, so he's really hoping that he plays. If not, I'll have to hit the waivers. I'm actually 3-0 on Sam games. I haven't gotten a Sam game wrong yet. He's the only one that I haven't gotten the game wrong yet. Ben and Chase, I've yet to get a game of yours correct. I'm going to pick Derek here. Derek's hot. Sam, he's okay. All right. Sorry. This is funny. I clicked on the next game, and Gilliam is a 25-point favorite against Ford, which is very funny. But it's because he has Joe Mixon in, who is projected for 0 points now because he's probably not going to play. So he's going to have to plug someone else in, which is unfortunate for Ford because his bench is looking brutal. And Joker's probably not going to play either. So it'll probably be, Gilliam is a 12 to 15 point favorite, which is still a lot of points. Gilliam's projected for 145, Ford 120 right now. Again, Ford 1-2 highest score, Gilliam 3-0 first place. Man, Ford can't catch a break because he's gotten Chase when he scored like 160, and then he's been a top scorer, losing. And now he gets Gilliam, who's a freaking buzzsaw right now. You're never hoping someone gets hurt, but I'm sure Ford is hoping Devonta doesn't play this week. Jamar's definitely going to play. I don't know why he's listed as questionable. Probably just veterans rest. Eckler's not going to play. If Gilliam loses Devonta and he has to plug in JSN, that's obviously a hit. But, man, his team is firing on all cylinders. Kyron, 30-burger last week. He gets the Chicago Bears defense this week, which is tough. James Cook gets the Ravens defense, which is tough. So he honestly doesn't have great matchups this week across the board. But I think his team is candidly just better than Ford's, which is crazy because Ford has the highest scoring team. It's just Gilliam's team is playing super well right now. I wish, honestly, both you guys, I could pick both of you to win because I like you guys a lot and I really want you guys to succeed. But I can't do that. So I will be picking Chris over Ford. Don't take it personal, Ford. Don't take it personal. All right. Steele and Rory. They're both projected for 131. They're within 0.1 of each other, which I honestly love to see. Steele, even down CMC, 2-1, 5th place. Rory, as we talked about, looking for his first win. These two teams just traded with each other. They're very familiar with each other. I did ask Rory if he wanted to trade me A.J. Brown because he's 0-3, and he told me no. So I said, all right, have fun being 0-4, brother. So I think you guys know where I'm going with this game, but I'll still get into the matchup prediction anyway. Lamar's looked great. Aaron Jones is great when he's healthy. Jordan Mason's looked great in CMC's absence. Olave looked good last week. JJ's awesome. Laporta's been mad. Tank Dell didn't practice today. Carson Steele in his flex. Interesting. His second flex is definitely a weak spot for him. Javonte looked like not good. I'm surprised he hasn't plugged Odunze in, candidly. Odunze had 24 last week. The Rams defense is pretty bad. Sorry if I just gave him that idea, Rory. I would not be surprised to see Steele plug in Odunze in that spot over Carson Steele. Let's go into Rory's side of the matchup. Mahomes is not really great from a fantasy perspective. He's the best quarterback right now, but not great fantasy. James Conner will probably have a field day against the commies. J.K. Dobbins, Nico Collins, Marvin Harrison. He's got Gesicki in. He started Najee. You know what I say about people who start Najee? They don't win fantasy football games. So I got to pick Steele here. Steele over Rory. Lock it in, fellas. Lock it in. All right. Next year's champion, 1-2, 9th place, Ben versus Caleb, 1-2, 7th place. 132 for Ben, 135 for Caleb. I actually don't think... Yeah, so Ben, I haven't got a game right yet. Chase, I haven't got a game right yet. But I also haven't picked Caleb to win a game yet. So we're going to see if that changes here, shall we? Kittle practiced today in limited faction. He looks like he might be back. He's got T. Higgins back. Devontae doesn't look good. Rashad doesn't look good. C.J. Stroud will definitely eat up Jacksonville this week. Deontay on the bench. He looked awesome with Andy Dalton. Especially with Thielen out. Wouldn't be surprised if he finds his way in the starting lineup. If it were me, I'd bench Rashad and put Deontay over him, but then you're starting 2 Panthers. So don't know if you want to do that, but low-key Panthers plus 4.5 this week against the Bengals. I could see it happening. That's all that I'm going to say. Caleb. Jaden Daniels looks awesome. QB2 on the year. Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, solid. He does still have Rashid Shaheed. I'm not sure what he's going to do there. Kyle Pitts is Kyle Pitts. I don't really need to get into that. Kenneth Walker, I think Caleb is hoping he will get back this week. We will see. It's always tough to know with him. I feel like he's very injury prone. A-Kane was bad last week, but obviously hoping to bounce back. I think all the Dolphins players really just take a big hit with Tua gone because Skylar Thompson is really not good. But they did sign Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley. That's right, Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley. I feel like I got to pick everyone at least once. I'm going to pick Caleb, and I think he's going to win. All right, me and Chase. I'm about a 7-point favorite right now, but Kamara did not practice. That's something I'm very concerned about. I really, really want him to play, obviously, because he's probably my best player right now. We'll do my side first. Anthony Richardson has found his way to the bench because, again, I want off the train. So if you want an explosive playmaker who is awesome at everything, come get him. And if you need a tight end, come get either Brock Bowers or Jake Ferguson. I'm fine. I like both of them. I picked up the Vikings defense because they're somehow the first defense and number one defense in football. Didn't know that, but that's what I did. The Titans felt like a trap with Tyler Huntley getting in. Got rid of Jake Elliott. Obviously, Amon-Ra and David Montgomery, both of them playing in the Monday night game. And Gino also playing the Monday night game. We're not going to know the result of this matchup until late Monday, so one to monitor. Let's get into Chase's side. Brock did practice today. Derrick Henry obviously is a freaking beast. Tyreek's not looking great. Mike Evans has not been great the past 2 weeks, but if I was a gambling man, which I'm not, I would bet on Mike Evans to score 2 touchdowns this week because he's going to go off. He's very frustrated. He hasn't been getting a lot of action. I'm glad to see that Chase has Kelsey in. I think this is the week that Kelsey figures it out. Diggs is good. Texans against Jacksonville. I wish I had that defense. That's going to be a good defense this week. Jacksonville is the worst team in the league. I'm a 7-point favorite. Our fellas are angry. We're really hoping Kamara plays. ETN, you let me down, but I still believe in you. I pick myself most weeks unless I really don't think I'm going to win, and it's not going to change this week. I'm going to pick myself again this week. Okay. That about wraps it up this week. That's what I got for you. Hope you guys had a great week so far. Congrats to Commies fans. You got your guys, like our boy Benny D said. If you want a tight end or a quarterback, hit me up. But other than that, thanks for watching.